My apologies for the potato quality. I'm running off of a MacBook Pro, so not your standard Minecraft machine. Hello there. I have made what I think is a pretty cool uh, elevator design. So the first thing is that I have multiple iterations, different designs. They all work basically the same way except the last one, which has special functionality that I will describe later. Now these elevators are tileable up and down infinitely, um, although if you do it too much, you're probably going to run into some lag. I find that 5 levels works really well for my computer, but I'm running on a laptop, so here we have the first most basic design. I'll go over the basic circuitry because this is the easiest one to look at and understand. But first, here we have the elevator cab itself. Now you stand in this little gap right here, you face that direction, and a lot of people don't like slime blocks to be visible in their redstone builds, but I find that in this one, if you're going to make the elevator this compact, it's necessary. There's no way getting around it. This little tail is actually pretty important because it triggers some observers that we're using for floor control. So here we have the first design. Now when that tail gets moved up, it's going to trigger this observer, which sends redstone signals to this purple circuit right here. The purpose of this purple circuit is to freeze the elevator, and it does so, but it also has a dual functionality in that if you send another signal into it, it's going to send the elevator up again, which allows us to add just this little pink part, which is just a button run into a monostable circuit that runs into this block, and that's our up circuit. And then the final orange circuit is pretty much the same thing. It's just redstone signal into a monostable circuit that runs into this block, and this is the down circuit. It allows a short signal to be passed into this block, which will trigger the piston to send the cab downwards. Now, this simpler system does have a nice functionality in that if the elevator cab is not on the floor that you are on, you can manually control it. You have to do it level by level, so it's not the fastest, but it does work. So here we can see that I just moved the elevator. We'll go ahead and take a little trip in it. So we just went down. So this is the first design. Now the second design I personally like more, and you can see I've sort of done a little shroud for it, a little example of how it might look in a building. I like this design personally because it can put at the corner of a building, plus it gives you just, I'd say, more leeway to work with it. And it's basically the same circuit as before, except that the orange down circuit has been routed around the other side. So it goes around here. There's a bit of complicated redstone work, but that's just to prevent it from interacting with the pink and purple circuits. Now that multi-floor control that I pointed out before, like this, is achieved with the help of some observer blocks. In this design, it's specifically these two right here, and this one right here, and we can actually see the towers of observer blocks that go up like that. And the purpose of those is to send a signal upwards when you hit the down button so that any elevator above you will move down. And the same thing happens here, except that we don't have the tower, but that's just because the observer will trigger this redstone, which then runs here, hits this repeater, and then goes downwards. So it's basically the same thing, just in reversed. So that's these two designs. The final design is a tiny bit more complicated, and that's because it has an automatic call functionality. And the way that works is we have an extra redstone clock on the side. It's nothing super complicated. It's just a hopper clock with one item in it because we don't need a huge amount of control on how long the timing is. So we hit this button. I'll go ahead and do it actually right now, and we can see it in action. You can see the redstone block has been pushed out of the way. The comparator is now sending signals, and you can see that we are getting inputs through here. Now, this is a fence gate. It's used just because we don't want this redstone right here to interact with the redstone that's right there, and we want the signal to be able to go upwards. So the clock sends out outputs, and it goes through. There is this little bit down here, which is an observer pointing downwards. The purpose of that is so that if we were to tile this whole section and put another level of it right above, this observer would send a signal down to this bit, which will activate the quote-unquote up, so that if the elevator was right here and we wanted it to go up one level, it would send the signal, the elevator would go up and stop. Now, when the elevator reaches the level that you clicked the recall button on, we'll simulate that with this block being put here. You can see that the redstone block is placed back into action. The monostable circuit is no longer sending out outputs, and everything is all nice and turned off. Now we can come over. So this is the design with the clock on it, the automatic call function tiled, and we can actually see, if I do it real quick, we can actually see the design in action. So this is the recall button. I'm going to hit it, and you can see that we have signals that were being sent up and signals that were being sent down. But now that the elevator has reached the position we want, everything goes back to normal. And I'll stand in here so we can see it work. Down, 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 and here we go. This will work at any level. We can come up to this one, say. Now, it's not the fastest design, but I'd say it's pretty speedy for the size. So here we are. We're in the elevator, and we can go up. Here we are. So that's basically it. I don't know. If anyone really wants a tutorial, I can make one on exactly how to build it. Yeah, but I guess that's it, you know? So here you have it, the super compact, infinitely tileable, expandable, adjustable, whatever elevator design. I think it's pretty cool. Took me a while to make.